Hey guys, so welcome back to the Great Ancestor Chronicles. Let's carry on where we left off. We've got a special guest coming for dinner tonight. It is, of course, Gina Lestrade. At least we're hoping she makes an appearance. Otherwise, I will have gotten Iris's hopes up, and I don't feel like disappointing little girls today. So, of course, Gina Lestrade was associated with the McGilded case of yesteryear. The Irishman has made an appearance once more, at least posthumously. His name appearing on a music box disc that Sherlock Sholmes has stolen from Inspector Gregson, even though it's vital evidence, because it was supposed to be released into the pawnbrokery today after, an elapsed time of being stuck with Mr. Windibank. So let's converse with Sherlock Sholmes, see what he has to say. The music box disc. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. You filthy thief. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. Your caramel chocolate? That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. Glad to know that, we don't count. We're not one of your confidants. It's just chocolate, which, it's pretty accurate. I like to confide in chocolate too, and ice cream, and energy drinks when I'm depressed. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. You gave him chocolate instead. I'll be taking with that, whatever it is, of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. So not only are you a filthy thief, you're a filthy liar, too. It's all yours, Inspector. You molded the caramel to the shape of a music box disc with the grooves and everything, even shed a little bit of blood on it. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes. Yes, you did. But I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. Your chocolate bar. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars. Like this. Ah, I see, you made a mold of it. That's actually fucking amazing, bro. Well done. I like it. I suppose if you carried a bar of soap, that would have been a lot more obvious to me, but yes. I also didn't realize that you had two chocolate bars with you, already unwrapped, no less. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed. This caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. Are you sure you invented it, or did Iris have a hand in it? Either way, mighty impressive. How extraordinary. This is the first time I've actually been like, wow, he's actually, he's not a dumbass. He's actually, he's got his great deductions. He's just not 100% accurate. So, he's got some intellect at the very least, but this is the first time I'm like, wow, okay, that's impressive. I'm quite proud. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and its unique form is duplicated. Yes, I knew about that, at the very least. That's why I was thinking about bars of soap. And in an episode of Prison Break where they had to duplicate a key, they pressed it into the bar of soap and then melted some plastic over it to make a key. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. It's even worse that he can, chew the evidence up. He could literally swallow the evidence, and no one will know. From the image, it was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. The music on the disc. Can we play it? I see you've got a gramophone, but do you have a music box? Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. I haven't played it yet, you buffoon. Jeez, what do you think? Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. No, I only know those small things, not the jukebox-sized ones. Goodness, you don't know, Reno. I've just landed in London for 2 months, okay? We got a different culture back home in Japan, alright? Technology doesn't just... there's no such thing as the internet right now. We can't just exchange ideas. We have to go on a, 2-month-long boat trip. Alright, here we go. So it's like a key, I guess. The pins hit the different protrusions and instead of, unlocking the door, it plays a unique tune.
Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented uses a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it.
Sorry, I have to say that word slowly. I like that. I like this rendition of Herlock Sholmes' theme. It's quite soothing and calming. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Oh. Well, we must have missed that memo.
Why exactly?
Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present.
That is true. Wait till you hear about Spotify. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? What problem? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. Oh, okay, so you can't just put this disc in any random music box. It has to be a certain music box, which is kind of strange, but I suppose, limitations of technology of the time. There's no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But sorry, it's not one specific music box. It's a brand of music box, I believe, because he was talking about a firm's music box, so that makes a bit more sense. Otherwise, why would you make discs with just one specific music box? But as you can hear, to no avail. Okay, so it's all out of tune. And the results are not pleasant. Hence why we can't say that it's accurate. Unless someone's really crap at making music. Or maybe it's just the faultiness of your caramel molded disc. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring, an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe.
Every single one? That's early for you. Always taking things too far.
But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. I mean, this is a unsolved case, right? It's to do with McGilded. We have no idea how he died. I don't even think he's dead, to be perfectly honest. So, I think this is definitely worth pursuing, especially for a great detective like Herlock Sholmes. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, but you only need to get one right. Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room.
What? But that's my office! I need that space for work, even though I haven't been getting any work whatsoever. Please don't kick me out. Please don't evict me. I'm trying to make rent.
Magnus McGilded. Tell me more about him, please. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. It's been 2 months, so I wouldn't say it's quite so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. He's very suspicious. I feel like he's a criminal mastermind of some kind. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. True, we never really got a satisfactory conclusion for what happened to the man who was killed inside, right? So what on earth happened? Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial.
The newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case.
Well, yeah, just because we prove someone's innocence doesn't mean we've found the culprit, right? Normally in Ace Attorney, we prove the client's innocence by finding the true culprit, but in this case we just proved his innocence, and so that's why the case remains unsolved. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. Bruce Fairplay. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. Lady first, Mr. McGilded, and Miss Lestrade. I mean, he had an evil laugh, and he seemed to be thinking like he got away with it, and once all was said and done, no? And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. Yeah, there we go. He was a sneaky little fucker, wasn't he? It would appear the case is not yet closed. Nope, but this is our chance to bust it wide open. Which is the opposite of what we want, but, you know, it sounded cooler in my head.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think.
You don't need the gun for that, I'm sure.
Ginny will be here before long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Also, aren't I your partner? I'm pretty sure I'm in good condition. Better than that violin of yours. Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winterbank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he?
Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Surprisingly, we started talking about, you know, the divulgence of classified information offhandedly soon after. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh, yes. The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Winterbank's storeroom, gathering dust. It's an unspeakable story.
My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than a bank's vault. Really, because you would have had to tunnel into the bank's vault, whereas Mr. Winterbank's storeroom is just there. No shovel required. Maybe a foot to kick the door down. Not to mention your surveillance system is only effective every, what, 30 minutes or something?
Now what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure?
Well, there may be the occasional mix-up. Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it.
You know what it's called?
Ah!
Well, what's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susato, what have you done?
Susie, what did you just say? You said The Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title?
How could you know the full title, Miss Susato? Are you also well versed in larceny?
Well, that's... Wow! Oh my gosh, the dinner! We need to start making it right now. It's gonna get burned, even though we haven't started it yet.
That's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. She deduced it.
But Runo, the Hound of the Baskervilles...
What? Yeah, she's a super fan, okay? My god, honestly, she stays up all night. She reads your stories more than she works.
Has never been published.
What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand. My assistant is trustworthy. I trust her with my life. She wouldn't do anything wrong, would she? She's not a criminal.
That's why he said that he'd keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see.
So that's why the manuscript is at Winterbank's.
And yet, how could Susie here know its title?
Do you want to do your little deduction thing on her? I'd surely like to know as well.
Well, Hurley, what's going on?
Look, I want to be alone now. I don't know who you are anymore. I've forgotten. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Oh, convenient. Ha! You came, Miss Lestrade.
This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going.
No, come back! No, wait! Miss Lestrade! Whew. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. So much so that we all went silent. Really quickly. Haven't we, Iris? Don't cry. You know, it's tears of joy. Really, look. It's fine.
Oh, yes. Just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy.
Oh, she bounced back quick? I'm scared that she's just putting on a front right now. I didn't mean it like that.
Come along, Susie.
Does she have to come with you while you have that gun unholstered?
Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Mr. Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home.
Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some medalist song? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Yeah, Ryunosuke's me. Come on.
Oh, hello.
Kitty's here.
Meow.
Everyone's ready for dinner. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Although, you know, Herlock Sholmes seems to be pretty good at that, and Susato is good at stealing intellectual property. So, everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. Uh-oh, it's all too happy. What's going to happen overnight? Who's going to break into the pawnbrokery? Am I going to read this telegram? 9:34 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Do I even have a sign? Is this an official business? That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Iris's cooking was truly divine.
And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now.
Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court.
Please don't. You stay next to me. I need you with the book. I thought we were trying not to be a negative influence, by the way.
Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder?
Of course you can. You can confide in me. We're partners. What's the matter, Susato-san?
It's about the telegram I received.
Okay. Yes, let's discuss this. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose.
I've been summoned.
Oh? What? Summoned? What do you mean? Are you being called back home?
The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me.
Just you? The Lord Chief Justice? When?
Tomorrow morning.
What? Then we have to start preparing at once.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. It's not we, it's me. I'm going to be the new lawyer.
Well, I did suggest that she should take the job.
I've been summoned alone.
Alone? What on earth for?
I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow.
What's all this about? Why are you being summoned solely? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. If only we had a explanation, because, you know, when it's the unknown, you start worrying about all sorts of things. Oh, who could that be, I wonder?
Good evening, friends.
Iris. Hello again. It's quite late in the night for your cheery music. I need to start winding down and get ready for bed. Oh, and you as well. Hi. You need some legal services?
And Gina too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny?
Well, yeah. Okay, well, enjoy your evening.
How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular?
Then I can't trust you, Susato-san, you sneaky bitch.
All those things Ginny showed us. Isn't it wonderful?
You mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? You just know it's going to be a thing later in the case. I feel like that, the pickpocketing and making another mold is going to be something that's going to come up later on. It's usually the case whenever you learn a new skill or something in these games.
I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it.
Please don't. Unless it's, you know, you're going to be a magician, then it's fine, but please don't go around train stations and whatnot. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. I think your inventions will probably be a lot more profitable. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour?
Well, you see, I came to return this.
Oh, my armband. It's still in the court record. You lie. Wait, what? That's mine!
Oh my, however did you...
Susato, you didn't even notice it was gone?
I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius.
So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though.
Thank you. It's like how you wear your goggles, you know? It's a symbol of your profession.
Alright then, good night.
Yes, good night.
So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny?
Please, I'm not looking for a review. I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer with... What? With a... Why, what? Sorry. I couldn't comprehend the sentence. I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this.
Yes, me too.
You saw me in action, thank you. God, seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about.
I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript.
Yes, I suppose she probably does. Alright, let's talk about it. The manuscript.
Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please.
What's going on? What am I missing? You need a little more time for what?
Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all.
I don't know what this is all about really, but...
It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mental script, or whatever you call it. It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries.
It means a great deal to her.
Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner.
Huh?
They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together.
Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though.
And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So, I've never really met him.
Damn. Oh, right. Gina seems to feel for her as well. Come to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. I don't know. Seems like a sore subject for a lot of people. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts?
That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean.
Oh? How?
I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It's the first time I've ever seen him like that.
pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. At this time, so he's not willing to hold it indefinitely. It's just for a short period of time. I don't know why. Maybe he's waiting for Iris to grow up. Maybe it's related to another case that's still unsolved.
But why not? It's one of my best works.
I'm not at liberty to say. Not now, so please, do not ask me.
Alright then, I won't.
But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. Somewhat touching, isn't it? Like, Herlock, you know, as eccentric as the man is, he does care for Iris, and whatever the story means to the both of them, because it involves Mr. Wilson, you know, he's truly trying to think of Iris's well-being here. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Winterbank, isn't it?
Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean, that's what it is. Keeping secrets like that.
I mean, she is a child. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Yeah, I think he's genuinely got her best interests at heart here.
Eh?
If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. But how does Susato know about it?
I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over me eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it.
What? Okay, well, jeez.
Hurley's lying to me?
Okay, let's not start a kerfuffle. It's late at night. We're supposed to be just drinking tea, winding down. Well, let's speak with our good friend Miss Lestrade, who's just posing over there, looking mysterious as ever. Your parents. I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina.
I ain't got any, have I? Never did have.
Oh, you're an orphan?
Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us, from the minute we're born. Not even our mums.
She seems to have made her peace with it, or at least outwardly, but I bet she's hurting inside.
But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones, and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it would be like to have parents, I mean. I thought it would make everything right. But I haven't listened to what Iris just said. It sounds like having parents ain't always easy either.
Well, I mean, it's not like she's got any parents anymore either.
Oh.
I mean, she's got a guardian in Herlock Sholmes.
I mean, if you know you never had him, you don't feel like you always wanted to meet him.
And you can't lose him, I guess, because you already lost him to begin with.
It's true. I do want to see Daddy. So much.
I know you do.
Oh, Iris.
She's such like a ball of fun and sunshine, you know, and that's what I hate the most, is seeing the happiest people be sad. That crushes my spirit. And, you know, the fact that she's just a little girl as well, she's a literal genius, as Ryunosuke's put it, and yet, you know, she doesn't get a chance to spend time with her father anymore, you know, that really crushes me. The best we can do is be there for her, you know, in his stead. It hurts even more that we know what happened. We were involved in the case, more or less. Sholmes' lie. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? I thought Iris was able to determine that. Maybe she's too close to Herlock to realize that he's lying.
Well, he reckons he popped that manuscript or whatever, right? But come on. That's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really an old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, In other words, you could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Iris. If you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you.
No, he wouldn't do that. No. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't sell the story just to profit off it himself.
But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced lies, the lot of him.
Yeah. I mean, I can see Gina's pessimistic attitude. She's probably... I mean, you don't really know Sherlock Holmes, do you? You just see him and you're like, oh, well, he's probably a bad guy. He probably lied. Yeah, he's definitely a liar. All grown-ups are liars. You just ain't realized it yet. I mean, you know, there's got to be a healthy balance. Iris probably views Sherlock Holmes in like this wondrous light. He can't do anything wrong. Gina, of course, is just like, I can't trust the man as far as I can throw him. And there needs to be a balance of sorts. You can't put him on such a high pedestal that you'll never see his flaws, but you can't just assume the worst of someone who cares for you either. You need to have a little bit of faith in him. Enough to not doubt his motives.
I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winterbank's. He'd soon see if he had a look.
It probably isn't at Winterbank's. It's probably somewhere else. I'm worried. How does Sutter know about it?
Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of him. If I'm honest, I've wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes.
See?
Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him.
It's not wrong. I mean, you don't want to doubt someone who's close to you. But if you have suspicions, you know. But you can't have belief without doubt. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. I'm sure you can deduce where it is.
Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs.
Yeah, alright.
And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you?
No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina.
You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist.
But you've got a meeting with, you know, Lord Strongheart. Gotta make sure I say his name right.
Oh yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night then.
Night, girls. Iris. Sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Oh, kind of hoping Susato tells me, at least, how she knows about the Hound of the Baskervilles. Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child.
Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san.
Alright, let's get to bed. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. Can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if Giselle Britt's involved. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. I knew it. I knew I'd wake up one day and he'd just be clinging to the ceiling or something. Oh? What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Okay, she's not dead though, is she? Please, for the love of God. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, gosh, she's an independent young woman. She's probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Mr. Sato. Uh-oh. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home. But I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's going on? What's this about? Ooh, spooky. Mr. Winterbanks. The light's on. Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? I don't even know what time it is. That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's? Oh no. I didn't realize our window had like a curve to it because I'm pretty sure we're like adjacent to Mr. Windibank's, aren't we? Like looking out the window, surely we wouldn't have the right angle unless there was a mirror across the road.
It's simple. If that story was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it.
So, what are we suspecting? That she broke into Mr. Windibank's to steal the manuscript? Maybe she's trying to do it as a favor for Iris?
Sorry, Iris. If you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you.
Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once. Mr. Sato! That was a nice Sherlock Holmes impression. Herlock Holmes impression there, I should say. 16th of April. It's past midnight. 1:14 a.m. Baker Street. The door to Windibank's. It's open. Am I still in my pajamas or am I wearing my black garb? So Sato's already dressed up.
And the lamp is burning.
It must be Gina, mustn't it? I'm scared. Is Mr. Windibank dead? Let's hope it's nothing more sinister. Is Gina going to be the culprit? Or that we need to defend, sorry. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. What, the game? There's no one here. Uh-oh. We've got blood on the calendar. Every night at midnight, he changes the calendar. So he was at least alive to turn it to April 16, which coincidentally is today's date, which is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. But there's blood all over the calendar. Oh yes, there is. Oh shit! Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the heck, did he get shot? What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! But after them! Go! Right! Holy shit, this is creepy as hell! What's happening? Who were they? Were those two people I saw last case? Blast! I've lost them!
Hello. What have we here?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was going to be Lestrade. Alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker's, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's. What on earth? God, I was half expecting a friggin' like Danganronpa corpse discovery scene. Is he okay? He's okay.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo.
He's okay.
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom.
What is it?
Hurry!
Oh god, it's locked. Oh, I knew it! Windibank's dead. Miss Lestrade? She's not dead, is she? She's just knocked out.
It's Gina!
She's just knocked out. She's not dead. We're just gonna have to defend her. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Mr. Windibank's fucking dead! Oh man, I knew Mr. Windibank was gonna become either a victim or a suspected culprit. I didn't realize Lestrade was going to be the suspected culprit. I'll be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. After them, go! Whew. It's all a blur. Behind that door, in the storeroom. Hurry! Interesting that we can even take a little peek at what's inside because the door was locked. Another locked room mystery. Oh, the gun's in her hand. I thought it was just nearby. That's even worse. It's Gina? This is not looking good, girl. What have you gotten yourself into? From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. Oh boy, we didn't get much sleep and freaking Sholmes got shot. Like, I hope the guy's okay. 16th of April, 6:21 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy, sorry, not counsel. Iris? Oh, Iris! You okay? Did you sleep through the night?
A telegram came, but all it said was, "Wait at home."
Oh, yes. We asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back.
When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone.
It's okay, I'm back now.
What happened, Runo?
Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know.
Something awful has happened, hasn't it?
You could say that. Yes, I'm afraid so. I can't lie to you. Oh boy. Okay, where do we even begin with this? This is pretty exciting. I mean, you know, final cases in Ace Attorney games are always exciting, especially because there's always a callback to a previous case, usually. And in this case, there certainly is. Events at Windibanks. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead.
Huh?
He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, yes, I had a feeling.
Yeah, You did? It wasn't self-inflicted, as you might suspect, because given the amount of times he's threatened to do so. No, he was murdered.
Well, I saw all of those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there.
I mean, it could have been a robbery, but I suppose with the amount of police involved... When we entered Windibanks in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street, and I chased after them, but they got away.
So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose?
I don't know. But that's not what the police believe at the moment.
Oh? Why not?
They've got a different suspect in mind. They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina.
Ginny? But why?
Well, the thing is...
No! Ginny wouldn't do something like that!
I know, I know. None of us think she did it.
Then why have they arrested her?
I'm sorry. It doesn't look good, okay? There was nothing I could do. The gun is in her hand. She's collapsed on the floor in a locked room. You know? They don't make my job easy. Gina's arrest. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's talk about Sholmes' situation.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene?
I hope he's not. I hope he's recovering.
He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windibanks, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. I want to say he was protecting us, you know.
Hurley? Shot? No.
It's all right. His life isn't in danger. It wasn't fatal.
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
He's at St. Sinner's. They're tending to him there.
I must see him. At once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, of course. It's a gunshot wound. I don't think it passed through. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see.
To operate? Oh, poor Hurley.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Injured Sholmes. It was the 2 thugs who were in Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. But Herlock is obviously a lot braver and, you know, more onto it than I am. He might have even protected Susato from getting shot. He had the presence of mind to order us to chase after the culprits, even though we lost them uselessly. Damn it! Go! After that, I ran out onto the street, but they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away.
I think it's a very good thing.
Sorry? I mean, if we caught them, then what? They would have shot me too, I suppose?
Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Runo. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh, okay, well, count on you to find the silver lining. Oh, Iris. Susato's situation, what's up with her?
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Mr. Sato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Shom, so they didn't get started until later. Makes sense.
Ah, I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. Someone needs to look after you, to update you with what's going on as well. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early.
You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station.
You wouldn't have been able to do much there, I'm afraid. Gina's arrest.
I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
They didn't shoot him dead, okay? Please. No, I mean, Mr. Shums isn't dead, Iris. He's just being operated on, okay? Don't write him off just yet. Don't go after his will.
Oh, this is all so horrible.
The thing is, Mr. Winterbank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles, and the storeroom door was locked from the inside.
I see.
But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Found by me. I saw it.
Oh, no.
And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards.
Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room?
Yes. Exactly. How did you know?
It's the only explanation.
Yes. The only explanation indeed.
What do you mean by that, Rena? Well?
What can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. Shit, dude. This is a tough situation. I mean, Iris is obviously panicked, confused, angry. She's a whirlwind of emotions. We can't get through to her right now. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on.
I want to go too. Take me with you, Runa. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting.
I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. But I don't want to leave her here all alone either. Alright, Iris. Perhaps you can help me?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
I think it's also a good idea for her to help us. At least that'll keep her mind distracted. She'll feel like she's contributing. As long as she just doesn't get in the way of other people, you know, I think it's a healthy distraction. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. I thought he was being operated on. We couldn't visit him. Either way, we'll probably visit him later.
And don't forget we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation.
I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Okay, actually, yep. You know what? Flip the script. Let's go to the hospital first, shall we? New location has been added. She's going to be my new assistant. Prison cell. Well, I kind of want to go there first. I feel like let's give Mr. Sholmes some bed rest. Let's see what's up with Miss Lestrade, if she is innocent, as we probably well know she is. She's going to need some support ASAP. Gina? Hello, Gina. Oh my god, they let you keep the smoke grenade launcher in there? I'm surprised you haven't busted out. Probably because it takes so long to load the freaking weapon.
Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Harry and I made.
I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. I'll get the guards in here to confiscate your contraband.
What are you here for? Ginny,
I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you.
Huh? Well, you can't.
Sorry?
You heard. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't.
Yeah, with a revolver at least. Probably with a grenade launcher.
You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am.
She's trying to deflect. She's trying to push us away. She's feeling immense guilt.
But Ginny, we believe in you. I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one.
She couldn't be staring at me anymore, obviously, if she tried. God. She just so desperately wants to be independent, but, you know, you can't rely on yourself all the time. You're gonna need to lean on someone's shoulder eventually.
Why are you being like this, Ginny?
Explain yourself. Legal representation. Who's your lawyer? I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away?
He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me growing up in the back slums. Me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, they'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers. Or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. You can't trust no one. That's the point. As soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead.
Right. Gina, listen, I suppose it doesn't help that, you know, she trusted Iris and us. She stayed over, and then the same night she stayed over, she decides to go to the pawnbrokery and get screwed over. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could...
Forget it! Ginny, don't you trust Ryuno?
You've seen me in action.
No, I don't.
But I'm not a grown-up. I'm still young. I'm a young bachelor.
Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
Can't do that. I need you. I need you to progress in Chapter 5. What happened? Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night, at the pawnbrokers.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and... you know the rest.
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking you.
But why, Gina? Why did you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diamond ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing.
Is that really why you broke into the place? You didn't break into there to find that manuscript?
What?
I mean, the name of the chapter, right? Unspeakable Story. Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Oh, give it a rest! What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Oh, don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
Yeah, what unforgivable lies? What did you lie about? Do you have parents after all? Are you an orphan? What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help. Maybe we can forgive you for the unforgivable lies.
Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by.
What is it? A postcard? A photo? A photographic print? Of a really adorable cat. I feel like that's the same snowman on Briar Road.
I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat.
So this cat is also in this coat? What else is in there? Something to remember me by. Here's a random photo I found. Great, thanks, Gina. Yes, this is definitely a souvenir.
Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Ginny.
The white cat photograph has been entered into the court record. A photograph depicting a sweet little white cat obtained from Gina while interviewing her in her prison cell. Well, she wants nothing else to do with us. I think it's time we go pay a visit to Mr. Sholmes. We should probably bring him a present, like some flowers or balloons.